What's up guys, Jake Does Hurdles back at it again with another Pokemon Go video, and this video is going to be from my online Nightmare Cup tournament through Pokemon Go Stadium. And I got into this chat, and I think it's a 16-person tournament, and in the first round I'm going up against Joy08. So this is her first tournament, and right now I knew she had Raichu on her team, so I wanted to farm off of Raichu, so it happens to be Raichu versus Raichu in the first match. So what I'm going to do is basically make her commit first. And it looked like she had a little lag. She didn't say anything about it, so I was like, okay, that's fine. So she uses Thunder Punch, and I don't shield. So basically what I'm going to do is farm really hardcore. Not shield here because it's going to be another Thunder Punch. I didn't think she had Wild Charge, so I'm going to change out to Eradicate, and then basically try to demolish her Raichu. And she's going to launch another Thunder Punch here. So I'm going to shield because I thought it would be Wild Charge, but it's not. So I'm going to use Crunch here, and hopefully she doesn't shield. And she doesn't, so I'm going to kill her Raichu. And then she's going to bring in Hitmonchan, and I'm going to be able to get a Crunch off. I sneak a Crunch in there. And I could have went for the Hyper Fang, but I didn't think I would get it. So I got the Crunch, and it forces her first shield. So then I have Raichu with 2 Wild Charges ready to go. That's why I like farming off Raichu. It's definitely a good strategy. Raichu is the best lead in the cup for sure if it plays in your favor. So in this match, it definitely plays in mine. I get 2 Wild Charges off, and I kill Hitmonchan. And she's going to bring in a Dark type, which is Umbreon, but I have Toxicroak ready to go, full health, and 1 shield. So basically just going to farm up, let her hit whatever she's going to hit. It's going to be Dark Pulse, and she's going to get it off, and I'm just going to keep farming. So I have basically 2 Mud Bombs ready to go, but I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb because it's going to do more damage than a Mud Bomb would to this Umbreon, and then I'm just going to counter her to death after she uses her Dark Pulse. So GG's in the first one, but I'm going to take the win against Joy. So moving into the next matchup, it is going to be Joy, round 1, match 2, and she led Raichu. So I'm thinking that she's probably going to lead either Fighting or Dark, and I told myself that I was going to stick with my lineup. I think my lineup did very well. I sort of demolished her a little bit in the first match, and I was like, I'll go with Raichu again, and of course she led Raichu again. So I'm like, alright, let's see if she learned from her mistakes. I'm going to just do my hardcore farming, just completely aggressive and see who bites on the first charge move. And she's going to use Thunder Punch here, and I'm not going to shield. And then I'm going to keep going here, because I'm just farming up energy, and I try to switch out, but it won't let me, so I'm going to have to block, because I think this Thunder Punch is going to kill me, and I think it would have been really close. And then I bring in Raticate. Raticate is going to do very good neutral damage with that normal. It's not going to really do much, but the normal quick attack fast move is going to do okay. And then I'm going to farm up, and she's going to bring in Skuntank, so I'm going to have this neutral matchup basically won. Going to use Hyper Fang, and she's not going to shield because she thought it was going to be Crunch. So gonna just go for another Hyper Fang, farm up a little bit, and this is where I made my mistake. I use a shield here because I wanted to get off that Hyper Fang, and I wanted to charge up a little bit of energy, so I use Hyper Fang, and she lets her Skuntank die, and then I'm going for my Crunch. I get my Crunch, and she's of course going to shield that again with her weak Raichu, and I'm going to try to knock her Raichu down. And so I'm going to bring in my Raichu with a lot charged up because I didn't want Toxie going in there and dying this early. So I basically sacrificed my Raichu, and that was also stupid because, Raichu was basically good to go, ready for a fighting type in the back, and now he's basically nothing. And I don't even have anything charged up. And for some reason I did not go for Thunder Punch here. I wanted to go for the Wild Charge to knock it out, but it ended up putting me in a bad situation where Toxicroak was out there with no shield, and I almost get the Sludge Bomb here, but I think if I go for that Thunder Punch, I definitely win this match, and I could probably counter her to death. So GG's in that second match, Joy. So in this third match, you can see me running through my teams here. I have a team made for every single opponent, and this one I had a team made for Joy because I knew I was playing against her in the first round. I'm going to go with the same team. I'm going to go Raichu lead, and of course she led Raichu again. So I was like, alright, she's probably not going to go double Psychic again. I think I'm good there, and I'm just going to farm. I'm going to farm hardcore, not block. The plan worked the first time. I didn't execute it very well in the second game. I probably should have won, but I did not play it very well. So I'm going to farm hardcore, and I decided no shield here. I'm fine. I'm going to make it. I'm good. And I have Raichu with 2 Wild Charges ready to go for the back. So we're going to bring out Raticate, and she's going to switch to Poliwrath. So I'm going to use a Hyper Fang here and hopefully draw out a shield. And she is going to shield, which is a very good move on her part. And luckily I already killed her one Psychic type, so I'm not really worried about losing Raticate. I bring in Raichu with Wild Charge ready to go, and I use Wild Charge, so that does not kill it. So I use Thunder Punch to hopefully knock it down, and that doesn't kill it. So I am left with Toxicroak with 2 shields against Poliwrath. So I shield because I know Ice Punch is coming. I didn't see a Power Up Punch, so I was like, okay, it's gonna be Ice Punch. So I'm like, okay, I am almost screwed here. Get to the Sludge Bomb before she gets Aerial Waste. And I'm like, okay, this might work. I'm 1-on-1 with 1 shield, and it's Raichu. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be a race to the charge move. But I already have some energy built up. So I get the Mud Bomb, and Toxicroak is able to go 3 versus 1. All hail the god Toxie. Toxie is the god of the Nightmare Cup, people. GG's, joy in round 1. So I just wanted to show you guys who I'm playing next. His name is Roy Jeff, and I knew he was going to have a really good team because I scouted him out a little bit before the tournament, and I looked at his stats. He's a very good player, and I already have a team made for him, so I just wanted to show you that he's the 292 ranked player in the world when this tournament started. So I was really ready to play him. I wanted to see how I'd do against a very good player, so he was a very good test for my lineup, and I just want to show you guys that I won the first round, and I knew I was gonna play Roy Jeff. I knew I was gonna play him at least once. If it wasn't in the championship, it was now. But let's get into it. So let's get into round 2, match 1 against Roy Jeff. And as you can see, I have 2 teams made. The Roy J team is the first match, and I'm going to be using Raticate because he has Spiritomb, and Raticate is necessary against Spiritomb. If you don't have an Umbreon, you need Raticate because you need a Dark type that is going to do some damage but be very hefty as well against a team. So I think Raticate's a good lead because it has the most positive matchups. I think I beat 5 out of 6 on his team, and I think that's the best idea. The only thing that would beat me is Toxicroak, so I'm just hoping no Toxicroak, no Toxicroak, no Toxicroak, no Toxicroak. Please, Roy Jeff, do not lead Toxicroak. So we are going to open it up with a Raticate lead, and he leads Drapion. So I'm like, okay, I definitely win this matchup. Aqua Tail is going to do nothing to me. I am so ready for it. I'm going to charge up a ton, and he's going to have Aqua Tail, and I'm not blocking it at all. I'm not touching it. Not touching the Aqua Tail. We're just going to go for this Hyper Fang, and he is not going to shield, and that's going to destroy him. So I'm like, all right, I already have advantage here. I could block this if I wanted to, but I'm like, Aqua Tail doesn't hurt. Raticate is killing it. We're fine. We're going to be good. And I'm going to switch out the Toxie to finish it off. And I'm fine with basically putting Toxie in kind of a sacrifice situation right here because I knew that I could get to a Sludge Bomb because of that energy stored up, so I could get that and draw a shield out against a Psychic type. But he doesn't think I'm going to get to a Sludge Bomb, so he does not shield. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm not going to shield Toxie. Toxie did his job. He killed the Dark type, and he's about to kill the Psychic type. So I bring in Raticate, and it's basically 2-on-1 with 2 shields. So I'm like, all right, I have advantage here. Clear advantage. And I know I have the big boy elephant Hypno in the back, so he uses 1 shield on Hyper Fang, but Confusion is enough to kill it, and I still have 2 shields. So I'm like, wow, I just won a match with 2 shields left. So GG's to Roy Jeff in the first round. He told me after, he's like, yeah, I played very badly, but we both played really aggressive. So let's move into match number 2 of this round. So as you guys saw, I had Raichu as my lead for this team. Hoping that he would not lead Spiritomb because I know he led Dark in the first match, and I didn't think he would lead Dark twice in a row. So I lead Raichu, and of course he leads Spiritomb. So I was driving in the car with my mom up to Ohio University, where I'm going to be going to grad school, and I was like, oh, please no Spiritomb. And then I screamed, I was like, no! And then I was like, what? I was like, he led Spiritomb, and it totally fooled everything, but he pulled Spiritomb out in favor of Toxicroak, and he didn't, he actually shielded. He shielded that, and I was lucky. I thought I was going to get a crunch. Oh no, what was I doing? And basically I was like, okay, that's fine. Alolan Raticate's dead, but I think Toxicroak can do it. I think Toxicroak can kill Spiritomb. So I blocked the Sludge Bomb, and I have a Thunder Punch ready for Toxicroak, and we're going to use Wild Charge just to see if he doesn't shield. And I use Wild Charge, and he does not shield, so it's basically even right now, 2-2 with 1 shield. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to shield. I think that Toxicroak can do it. So I'm going to save a shield for Toxicroak, and we're just going to try to spam out these Mud Bombs. So he's going to use a move here, and I was predicting Ominous Wind, so I was like, all right, I'm right there. That was good. It was a good idea. I didn't think he had enough for Shadow Ball, and I use a Mud Bomb, and it's going to destroy him. So I'm going to be able to hopefully counter him to death here. And I counter him to death, and I'm like, what does he have in the back? What does he have in the back? What does he have in the back? It's Drapion. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so low health, but can I do this? Aqua Tail's very weak. Crunch is going to hurt a little bit, but I don't know if he can get to it before I kill him. And I have one shield, so I'm like, all right, I got to do it. I got a shield. It's Aqua Tail. So I'm like, all right, it's a race to this charge move again. And I get off the Mud Bomb. And I am able to beat Roy Jeff, the number 292nd player in the world, in 2 matches. And it was great. We talked after, and he said that my team is definitely going to annoy a lot of people down the line. So GG's Roy Jeff. So here's the tournament bracket, guys. So you can see what's going on. And I am ready for the next round. So I am matched up against Kevin Macaroni in round 3 of my remote tournament through Ghost Stadium. So he has won his first 2 matches, and as you can see by his lineup, he's got Blaziken, so his team is going to be very weird, but you'll see how I attack it right now. So as you guys can see, I have my teams made for everyone that I'm going to play in the tournament. I've got Kevin's teams right now for game 1 and 2, hoping there's no 3. And I'm going to lead with Raichu, expecting a Blaziken lead. So he leads Raticate, so I'm obviously in trouble. And I get Raichu out of there after farming up 2 Sparks, and I'm going to get Toxicroak in there to do some damage with the counters, and he's going to bring in Claydol, so I'm screwed because he has Confusion Claydol, so it's going to melt my Toxicroak. So I'm going to elect to use a Sludge Bomb to do some damage, and he's not going to shield. But I've got Raticate coming in, and I know I can take at least 2 of these Earth Powers before I have to shield. Before I die. So I'm going to farm up a little bit of energy so I can have hopefully 2 crunches ready to go before he can get his other Earth Power. And I'm going to use a crunch here, which he's going to shield. And I'm going to get to another crunch. And I'm going to farm up a little bit more energy as well. So we're going to use another crunch. And I'm expecting a second shield here to keep Claydol alive because he knows he still has Toxicroak in the back. So I'm going to shield because I know I have to kill this Claydol. No, oh, my Toxicroak's dead. My fault. My apologies. But we're going to go to Quick Attack it to death and aggro farm some energy for hopefully his fighting type and his dark type if we need it. And he's going to bring Raticate for a neutral matchup. So I'm going to use Hyper Fang. And he has no shields left, so that's going to hurt his Raticate pretty bad. He was expecting Crunch, I'm assuming. So bring in Raichu for the Toxicroak. And I'm going to use a Wild Charge that I had a little bit charged up from earlier. And I'm going to take a GG in match 1 of round number 3 against Kevin Macaroni. So let's hop into round 3, match number 2 against Kevin Macaroni. And I'm going to be leading with Toxicroak, expecting a dark lead again here. And he is going to lead with Raticate. So we had some connection issues in the first game, so we had to do the match again. And obviously we're on the same lineups and the same team. And so he knew he was already at a disadvantage because of Raticate being his lead, and I had Skuntank, which is also a huge Claydol farmer. Earth Power hurts, but Crunch hurts worse. So, you know, we're going to use this Crunch before this Claydol here gets its second Earth Power. So he's going to have to use a shield again, and I'm like, okay, am I going to burn 2 shields on Skuntank? I think I'm going to because my Toxicroak is still very much alive, and I do not want to lose my Toxicroak. So I'm going to get to a crunch here with his second shield burned already. So I'm going to knock out Claydol. And this is where I knew it was basically GG's because I knew I could probably get to something if I needed it. But I have Hypno, so Hypno's the destroyer of all Toxicroaks. So no matter what against this Raticate, I know I can take a crunch if he's using it. And take the 1 crunch, and I'm racing to this Focus Blast. I know if I get Focus Blast, it's basically a game over because Focus Blast hurts. And he asked me after, but he's like, he thought I had Shadow Ball, but it turns out I had Focus Blast and Psyshock from the Legacy Hypno. So he's going to kill my Hypno here with a Mud Bomb, which is perfectly fine because I'm just going to bring in Toxie for a neutral matchup for the good game in round number 3, match 2 against Kevin Macaroni. So I just wanted to update you guys with the points list here. I am currently in first, and I'm going to be going up against Care Bear in the championship round. And we have done some scrimmaging matches, so she's a very good player, and I'm very pumped to play her, and I'm just 1 win away from winning. So let's hop into match number 1 of the championship against Car Bear 13. So this championship of my remote tournament, we both got our teams picked. She uses party first, so I'm going to get charge move priority, or so I think I will, you know. And I'm going to lead with Raticate because I thought she was going to lead Dark and I was going to go for the neutral matchup, but she led Raichu, so I've got advantage here, and I've got Toxicroak and Hypno in the back, so I've got Hypno ready for Lucario, and I'm like, alright, this could be Shadow Ball, but I don't block because I thought I was going to be Power Punch. So I'm like, oh, I am in trouble. But I'm like, okay, Toxicroak can take care of Lucario. We're fine. We're good. But she's going to bring in her Psychic type here. She's going to bring in Raichu. I'm like, all right, I think we still might be okay because she has 2 shields and I have 2 shields and I have the charge move advantage here. So, at least I think. And I am going to get to my Mud Bomb, but she's going to get her Thunder Punch first and I'm going to shield. So I'm going to get to another Mud Bomb, obviously my Mud Bomb, and use it. And I'm looking at that switch clock to see when I can bring in Raticate to tank these Thunder Punches. And I'm gonna choose to use a shield here, I believe, so I can get off this Mud Bomb and switch into Raticate. But I'm trying to switch right before Raichu uses Thunder Punch so I can tank it, and I can't switch. So I'm like, alright, I gotta quick attack this to death. She has 1 shield. I'm in trouble. But she runs Spiritomb in the back, so I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. I think I can do this. Raticate can tank these Ominous Winds. It can tank these Shadow Balls. We should be fine. So, we get a Crunch off. Use the Crunch. And it's going to be a race to see if she can get a Shadow Ball. Or a Crunch here. Or Ominous Wind. Sorry. And I get a Crunch against her Spiritomb. And I'm going to knock her out to win Game 1 against Car Bear 13 in the championship. So let's move into match number 2 of round 4 in the championship against Car Bear 13. And I'm going to be leading with Toxicroak, expecting a dark lead here. And she leads Toxicroak. So we're ready for the match, the neutral match. And we're going to go for the Mud Bomb. And we both switch at the same time. So it was a great switch by her. She clearly knows the strategy. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for this neutral matchup. I'm going to take 1 Ominous Wind and be okay with it. And I'm going to use a Psyshock, which she is going to be expecting is Shadow Ball. So she's going to shield. So my Hypno wins again, and I'm going to be able to burn a shield. I'm like, okay, Hypno can die in peace. I'm fine with it. We can beat this Zod with Raticate. And we're going to bring in Raticate, and I get Switch Glitch, so this kind of hurts me a little bit. But I was probably going to aggro farm anyway, honestly. And I'm going to shield this Aerial Ace because I figured it would do a little bit of damage to my Raticate. And I'm going to store up some energy. And I'm going to go for a Hyper Fang on whatever comes in. And I should have switched out to Toxicroak, but I did not. So she brings in Lucario and she runs a double fighting lineup against me. So I am kind of in trouble, but not really. And I get to a Mud Bomb against her Lucario, and she's got 1 shield. So, oh, she has no, yeah, she's 1 shield left, and she's going to bring in her Toxicroak. So I think, yes, I shield here, and she's got 1 shield left, so I'm going to have to farm up some energy and hopefully get to a second Mud Bomb before she does, but that's physically impossible. So I'm going to be going for a Mud Bomb here and trying to get that other Mud Bomb, but she's going to get to it first, and she's going to KO my Toxicroak. So I'm going to see if I can get to a Crunch here, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get off the Crunch, so GG's to Car Bear in match number 2 of the championship. So it comes to this, guys. The final game of the tournament. 3 matches in, and here we are. Toxicroak versus Skuntank lead. I went with the fighting lead again, expecting a dark type. And I got Skuntank, so I was really pumped, and she's going to get her Skuntank out of there before I can get a Mud Bomb off, and I'm going to bring in Raticate, and I'm going to tank these moves. And Wild Charge is going to hurt, so that kind of puts her in an advantage, but I'm going to aggro farm. And I'm going to go for a Crunch. And we'll see if she shields here. She's not going to shield. So what I'm going to do is shield my Raticate because I know that those sparks are going to hurt me and I know I can get to another Crunch to burn that last shield. So I'm going to go for a Crunch. The aggro farming paid off. And I'm going to either kill or waste that second shield. And I do kill. So we're 1 shield, 1 shield. I got 3 Pokemon. She's got 2. And Raichu is going to die. So I'm going to bring in... Or not Raichu, Raticate is going to die, my fault. And I'm going to bring in Toxicroak for this matchup. And hopefully burn a shield. And then I'm going to switch right to Hypno to get that 1 confusion before it can do anything to get that Shadow Ball. It's a great switch by me there. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm just going to bring in Skuntank. And I'm going to choose to not shield Hypno. But I think I'm going to be able to get to this Focus Blast to burn that last shield. That's why I did it. And I'm going to get to the Focus Blast to burn that last shield. And I know that Toxicroak can take Skuntank with no shields no matter what health I'm at. So I'm going to bring in Toxicroak, throw off some counters. I'm going to block whatever she's throwing at me. Probably a Crunch, maybe a Flamethrower. It's a Flamethrower. That would have hurt really bad. And I'm going to counter her to death to take the championship in my remote tournament. So guys, that is going to do it for my Nightmare Cup tournament via the Ghost Stadium, and I'm going to show you the bracket here. As you can see, I played against Joy in the first round, then I moved up to the number 1 pair against Roy Jeff, and I was able to beat him and then move on to Kevin Macaroni, staying in that number 1 pair, and then I moved to round 4 against Carbear 13, and I was able to beat her in the championship. And as you can see, the total points, I had 4 points, Carbear had 3, Kevin Macaroni had 3, and my other opponent, Roy Jeff, had 2, as well as Joy having, I believe it was either 0 or 1 at the bottom. So I was really pumped to play in this tournament. I loved it. The Ghost Stadium is a really cool idea. But I can't wait to do my next one. It's going to be Rainbow Cup. It should be soon because the group is already ready. And this is just the Discord, so you guys can see I was congratulated. It was awesome. But thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you're new. So GG's to everyone that I played with. Hope you guys come back for another video.